The movie starts with three young guys breaking into a wealthy businessman's house to rob him. Alex, one of the crew, assures them he's disabled the alarm system, and they start grabbing all the expensive stuff. The crew has one important rule: never steal cash or anything worth over 10,000. If they get caught with something more valuable, they could face up to 10 years in prison. But if it's under that limit, the sentence is usually just around 5 months. After the robbery, they jump into their car and drive off. Money, the leader of the crew, talks to his girlfriend Rocky and asks her what she's going to do with her cut. She tells him she's saving up to move to California and leave this life of crime behind. Alex gets upset because he's in love with her and doesn't want her to go. Alex heads home and sneaks into his dad's office. His dad works for a security company that installs alarm systems. Alex returns the keys he used during the heist. The company keeps spare keys and alarm codes, which is how they're able to pull off the robberies. Meanwhile, money goes to sell the stolen goods, but the dealer only offers him $800, even though the stuff is worth over $7,000. The dealer tells him no one's paying full price for stolen items and suggests he steal cash instead of things that are hard to move. He tips money off about a house in a deserted neighborhood. The owner is a blind man named Norman, a retired army vet who lost his daughter in an accident. He got a $1 million settlement, and the cash is supposedly still inside his house. Money tells the crew about it. Rocky's in. But Alex refuses because he's against stealing money. He reminds them that if they get caught, they'll be looking at 10 years in prison. He walks away. Later, Rocky texts him, begging him to reconsider. He looks into the case and confirms that Money's story about the $1 million is true, so he changes his mind and agrees. They start watching Norman's house. Money confirms the guy lives alone, only leaves the house for 1 hour a day, and has a guard dog. The neighborhood is completely abandoned. On the day of the break-in, they toss the dog a piece of meat laced with tranquilizer. They try to enter through the front door but fail. Then they go around back, also locked tight. Rocky spots a bathroom window, breaks it, climbs inside, disables the alarm, and opens the door for the others. Once inside, they take off their shoes so Norman won't hear them, and split up to search for the money. Money sneaks into Norman's room and puts a sedative in his water bottle. Norman wakes up to the sound of the TV but falls back asleep. Money assumes the sedative worked and heads back to the others. Rocky notices the basement door is locked, and they assume the money is down there. Money tries to open it but can't, so he decides to shoot the lock. Alex argues against it, warning that Norman might hear the gunshot and wake up, but they ignore him. Alex asks Rocky to leave with him, but she refuses. He walks away alone. Money fires at the lock and breaks it. Right then, Norman appears and asks who's in the house. Money pulls his gun and tells him not to move. But Norman ignores him and calmly steps forward, then suddenly steps on a piece of metal from the broken lock. He realizes someone broke into the house. He attacks Money, takes his gun, and starts choking him. When he asks if anyone else is with him, Money lies and says he's alone. So Norman kills him. Rocky is shocked and hides in a room, crying silently, regretting that she didn't listen to Alex. Meanwhile, Alex hears the gunshot and rushes back inside to check on Rocky, but he's surprised to see Norman coming toward him. Luckily, Norman doesn't sense Alex's presence. As Norman gets closer to the bathroom, he steps on broken glass and figures out that the thief came in through the bathroom window. So he shuts the door and boards it up. Now all the doors and windows are sealed and Alex and Rocky are trapped inside the house. Alex hides under the bathroom sink. When Norman leaves, Alex texts Rocky asking where she is. She replies that she's in the laundry room and tells him Norman killed Money. Alex is shocked and can't believe how powerful this blind man is. Norman enters the room where Rocky is hiding, so she holds her breath and stays still. Suddenly, he opens a hidden safe, and Rocky sees the code and confirms the money is inside. After he leaves, she tells Alex they should steal the money and escape through the basement door, since it's far from Norman's room. Alex agrees. They take the money and head toward the basement, but just as they reach the door, Norman comes out to collect Money's body. They freeze in place. Alex moves carefully, but Norman hears his footsteps and aims his gun. Just in time, Money's phone starts ringing. Norman thinks the sound came from the phone, grabs the body, and takes it to the workshop. That gives Alex and Rocky the chance to go down into the basement and search for a way out. Meanwhile, Norman checks the front door and is stunned when he finds 2 extra pairs of shoes. He realizes there are more intruders. When he opens the safe and finds it empty, he knows they stole the money and he gets furious. In the basement, Rocky and Alex are shocked to find a woman tied up with a rope attached to a bell inside the house. When she moves, the bell rings. Norman hears the bell and realizes someone's down there. Alex tells Rocky they need to run now and promises he'll call the cops later. The woman points at Rocky and gives her a note. It says her name is Cindy, a rich woman who accidentally ran over Norman's daughter and killed her, but got away with it because it wasn't intentional. Rocky figures out that Norman kidnapped and held Cindy prisoner all this time, and she's shocked that a blind man could pull that off. Cindy points to a safe, and Rocky guesses the code is the same as the first one. She's right. Alex opens it and finds keys to all the locks. They free Cindy and try to escape together. But when they finally find the exit and open the door, they're met by Norman. He hears them and fires his gun. Sadly, the bullet hits Cindy and kills her. Norman approaches the body, touches her face, and realizes it's Cindy. He completely loses it and screams in grief. He never meant for her to die. From that moment, he decides he has to get revenge on Alex and Rocky for setting her free. First thing he does is lock the basement door and jam a screwdriver in the lock so the keys won't work. Then he shuts off the lights, so they can't see anything anymore. Alex and Rocky can't see anything, so they grab onto whatever's around them to guide themselves. Norman hears the noise and figures out where they are, then starts shooting randomly. They run and split up. Norman hears Alex's footsteps, grabs him by the neck, and tries to kill him. But the bullets run out, so he tries to strangle him with his hands. Alex shoves a shelf onto Norman and runs off with Rocky. After struggling, they manage to get out of the basement and lock the door behind them. Suddenly, they see the dog in front of them. It woke up from the sedative. Alex tells Rocky not to run so the dog doesn't sense her fear. He gives her the key so she can unlock the door. As she's trying to do that, the dog charges at them, so she drops the keys in the door and they both run. They rush into a room, shut the door, and block it with a wardrobe. They decide to escape through the window but realize it's covered with metal bars. Norman gets out of the basement with his gun and starts searching for them. Alex suggests triggering the alarm so the police will come, but Rocky refuses. She's scared she'll get 10 years in prison. Norman hears their voices and fires through the door. Alex notices a ventilation shaft and tells Rocky to crawl through it, and she does. At that moment, the dog attacks Alex, knocking him out the window onto the roof of the first floor. He passes out. Rocky keeps crawling through the shaft, but the dog chases her. She tries to escape, but ends up falling through another vent and loses consciousness. Alex wakes up on a glass roof. He tries to move, but Norman hears him and fires his gun. The glass breaks and Alex falls again, but he's okay. He runs to activate the alarm, but Norman hears his footsteps and chases him. Alex hides in the workshop, terrified and crying. After a moment, he decides to fight back. When Norman enters, Alex hits him with a metal rod and knocks the gun out of his hand. Norman snaps and beats Alex hard until he passes out. Then Norman grabs a pair of garden shears to kill him, but ends up stabbing Money's body instead. Thinking Alex is dead, Norman stops. At the same time, Rocky wakes up and quietly crawls through the vent until she finds a small window facing the street. She tries to break it, but Norman hears and grabs her. When he realizes she's a girl, he decides not to kill her, but knocks her out again. Rocky wakes up tied up just like Cindy was. Norman tells her that Cindy killed his daughter, but the police let her go because she came from a wealthy family. So he kidnapped her and did artificial insemination to force her to have his child as a replacement. But when they broke into the house, Cindy died while 5 months pregnant. Now he says he's going to do the same to Rocky, promising to let her go after she gives birth. Just before he injects her, Alex hits him with a hammer and frees her. They tie Norman up. He warns them to run, because if he escapes, he won't spare them. They grab the stolen keys, unlock the door, and run as fast as they can. Suddenly, Norman shows up and shoots Alex, killing him. Rocky panics and runs out of the house. But just as she thinks she's safe, Norman's dog starts chasing her. She runs toward her car to escape, but the dog catches up and grabs the bag of money. She has no choice but to leave the bag and jump into the car quickly. The dog tries to get in through the door, but she manages to roll up the window just in time. She spots the bag on the ground and starts thinking about how to get it back. An idea hits her. She opens the car trunk and lures the dog inside. It works, and she shuts the trunk on him. But the dog breaks free and attacks her again. She jumps out of the car and slams the door, trapping the dog inside. She grabs the bag, but just before she can escape, Norman suddenly appears and knocks her out. He drags her by the hair and takes her back inside the house. When Rocky wakes up, she sees Alex's body next to her, with the remote for the alarm system in his hand. She grabs it and decides to trigger the alarm so the police will come. She does it, and the loud noise causes Norman to lose his sense of direction. She takes advantage and hits him with a metal rod until he falls to the ground. She thinks he's dead. She grabs the bag and escapes. The next day, she and her little sister are at the train station, ready to head to California. But on the TV, she sees news about Norman. The report says police found 2 dead bodies in his house, and that he managed to defend himself and kill the intruders. Shockingly, he's still alive and was taken to the hospital. The reporter adds that police questioned him, and he told them there were only 2 burglars, and that nothing was stolen. Rocky is stunned. She can't figure out why he lied or why he didn't report her. She starts to worry that he might come after her. So, She grabs her sister, gets on the train, and they leave. And that's how the first part of the movie ends. If you liked it, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss part 2.